Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh,
We
Really,
missed
that's your whole
y'all.
theme song?
right.
That's your whole theme song? What the heck
Good.
was
I feel
that?
cheated. Where my
I
theme
could be
song
like,
from?
That was a
welcome back,
remix
welcome
and
back, welcome
everything.
back. Hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hey, it's been 2 really long weeks, but
Yeah.
we needed a little time to regroup. And you know what?
Right.
We back. We
Yeah.
back. So, welcome to You, Me, and the Trinity's Christ Connections and Conversations. Tonight it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be interesting because it is Mind of a Man meets She Speaks. We are ready. I got my friends, I got my brothers, I got my sisters with me tonight. And it's gonna get a little hot and spicy. So, you know how we do. We're gonna go around, let everybody say hey, cause we missed y'all. Since I'm already talking, I'm your girl, Coach Ebony Lachelle, one half of You, Me, and the Trinity, and one part of Christ Connections and Conversations. We're gonna go with Berea, cause he right next to me on the screen.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Burrell from Atlanta. Excited about being on with you guys tonight and just talking about relationships, men and women. So I'm excited to learn and grow as well. So let's have fun.
Hey, people. I am Elder Kim. I am the other half of You, Me, and the Trinity, and the other part of Christ Connections and Conversations. So thank y'all for joining us tonight.
Jay, can you act right?
He muted.
Oh, I mean, he unmuted himself before you been talking.
Rodney was next, so I was just going to go in a
I
circle,
thought I was next too. I thought I
Thank
was next
you.
too.
Go, Rodney.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. I am Rodney Courtney from Harrisburg, aka y'all know where that's at, but that's in close to Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, I'm very interested in He Said, She Said. I'm ready to get it popping, learn some stuff that I didn't know, teach the ladies some stuff they don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought he was getting ready to say something else.
The shade.
Good
Don't do that.
evening, everyone. I am Reverend Letitia Roberts Henley, aka Miss Stay in Your Lane, Stop Swerving, aka the funny singing preaching lady. I am here in Dothan, Alabama, by way of Sherrill, South Carolina, and I'm ready to get it cracking so I can teach Rodney what he think he know that he don't know that I'm gonna help him to know.
Gather him. Yes.
All the way together.
Come on, coach. Give it to him, coach.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
Lit.
Hey, Jasmine. I am he am I. I will always and forever be your friend, your brother, your neighbor, that guy down the street that you know, Coach Jay Hart. This is gonna be oh my. This is about to be something, man, because I didn't know the righteous Rev was just gonna spit all her AKAs out like that. I thought she about to start stepping for a second there. I was like, well, go ahead, well, AKA BKA, also known as because I am swerving in two lanes because I'm drunk and high off Jesus and the Holy Ghost, all that. I mean, I didn't know what was about to happen, but shoot, I'm ready to get it started. He said, she said, he speaks, she speak, we all speak. This is about to be interesting. This is gonna be something for the pay. This might have to be a monthly thing or depending on how Elder Kim act, because sometimes she be super holy. So we'll have to see how my sister act today, because she got on a t-shirt that's not a t-shirt, but it's a
Right,
t-shirt.
right. Clearly, clearly,
She got a
clearly.
t-shirt with a collar on. I never
Right.
heard of a t-shirt with a
I don't
collar that
know.
looked
I
like
don't know. She knew that.
that.
What you gonna
Shoot,
do is back up off of me. That's
you
too
can't get that
far.
from the beauty supply store.
No, no,
So
no, 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 no,
that's not a
no.
beauty supply t-shirt. So I'm just
I don't.
saying. So it's not really, I can't get that at
Elder
the gas
Kim,
station.
Elder Kim, this is the first lesson they shall learn tonight. Women have t-shirts that are t-shirts with collars, if you didn't know that.
Thank you.
Lesson number one tonight,
Thank
fellas.
you. So
Got
you
it?
learned
Okay.
something. You
Mm.
mad?
Mm.
Say you mad.
You're
Either way.
Is you mad?
Jay, what you say? I didn't hear you.
Let me mute myself so y'all can't hear me.
Already?
So first question of the night. Good evening, Ronald. Hey, T Show. Hey, Jasmine. We see y'all, and we will not lay off of Jay because he bring this on himself. So, first question of the night: who loves harder, men or women?
White women. Next question.
Let me mute myself.
Holy Ghost. You're going to have to help me on tonight.
What?
I think when men do, but I think they don't really show it. Honestly, I don't even really know. Like, okay, we just talking about basic love, right? We're not talking about like being in love, just basic love.
Just, I mean, like, whatever definition, whatever parameters you want to give it. Like, who love harder, men or women? Because I'm already weak.
I'm gonna say
I
men.
don't know. I think it's situational. I think that we show love in different ways. So I think it's just situational. I do know when a man really loves you, like he is going to go all out for you to make sure that you know that. But I think it's situational. Fellas.
I think if a man truly is in love, he's gonna love just as hard. I've heard people say something like, "You want to find a man that love you more than you love him," which I think is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. But I think we have to understand too. A lot of times when we say, "Well, men don't," it's just because that man really wasn't in love. He was just going through the motions. Because when a dude really is in love with you and passionate about you, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So I think depending if he's truly in love, then yeah, absolutely he gonna love harder and faster too. Oh, we know.
Can I ask what's the difference?
What's the difference with what? Which part?
Between loving someone and being in love with someone?
I'm gonna let Coach take that one because Coach he is seasoned. He's seasoned. So I'm.
Oh wow! He's gonna throw me under the bus.
You a whole relationship coach. So tell us what you gotta say, Coach Jay Hart.
Oh
Wow.
my.
Well, get you. No, well, let me say this: women love harder than men because that's what they're created to do. That's just in their DNA. Period. But if a man do love a woman, he is willing to go all the way out to show that. Now, the difference between being in love and loving a person, there's just some things that I would do for a woman that I'm in love with that I will not do for a woman that I just love. There's some openness that I will give a woman that I'm in love with, that if I just genuinely love you, I won't open myself up to you like that at all, because there's just some things that you just don't need to know about me, because that's not the ship that we're in. If we were in that ship of me being in love with you, then there's some things that you need to know about me. But since I just genuinely love you, and that's the ship that we're in, just a genuine love, then there's some things that it's not that you don't need to know. That's kind of, for lack of a better word, irrelevant to our relationship, because that's not where we are. I mean, there's some secrets that you would tell a man that you're in love with that you won't tell a man that you just like.
We ain't talking about like, we talking about love and being in love. Like,
well, that's the whole thing. There's some situation. There's some stuff. You have a male friend that you love. That's your dog. But there's just some stuff about you that you won't tell him, because that's on a need to know basis. And if that's not where y'all going, we give too much information out to people that don't need that information. And then we wonder why our business is out in the street. We wonder how the people down the street know about our personal private stuff. It's because we're running our mouth too much to people that only need this much of us.
That's good.
And people wonder why I send the offering.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know where to send the offering because that just blessed my whole soul.
That the crazy thing is because it'd be like, how did they know that I got molested when I was 5? How they know that I had a miscarriage at 15? Because you ran your mouth to the wrong people. And now all your business is out in the street, and now you upset and hurt. There's just some stuff that's, what's that, G15, G14 classified that everybody just don't need to know. And when you open yourself up to certain people who doesn't need that openness, you open yourself up to be vulnerable or to be touched, or for people to be in certain parts of your life that just don't need to be a part of. We'll save ourselves a lot of heartache and pain if we learn how to be quiet.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Anybody
That's
else
good. Now, I would agree with you there, Coach.
love and being in love?
I think, well, I think I have a different perspective from the sense of what Coach is saying, loving someone and being in love with someone. And I probably would have to differ with the first comment about women love harder because that's the way we built. You know me, I'm going to go biblical on you for just a minute because the word of God tells a man to love his wife. I'm going with the wife context here. Love his wife, love his wife, love his wife. Because God intended for you to give us that love because he knew we would automatically reciprocate it. So when a man gives a woman that type of love, he doesn't have to worry about her reciprocating it because it's going to be that automatic nurturing thing that you say, Jay, that we do. I think sometimes we miss the point that loving someone does not give them the right to know all the things that we would share with the person we're in love with. I can love a girlfriend in a way that you would want to share some of those things with. But with that, you have to be careful. So when you're loving a man, you're giving him access to every part of your being. So when you're loving them, you're not in love with them and you're giving them access that they shouldn't have.
Oh, can I chime?
Chime.
Since the good Reverend went to the Bible, I'm going to go to the Bible as well. I'm going to say men love harder. Only because, can you imagine what Joseph was thinking when Mary got pregnant and she said it's about a Holy Ghost?
I know what I was thinking when I first heard.
I feel like if he really loved Mary the way he said he did, he would not have needed the angel to confirm what Mary already told him. That's number one. Number two, Abraham and Sarah. When Sarah said, you think the Lord meant you should have a baby and we're going to have a baby, you think he meant me or do you think he meant one of my servants? I think he meant one of my servants. What do you think? And we all know how that story went.
And that means you love harder?
I think we love harder because we have the capacity. We do. I think we house the capacity to love hard. Now, I'm not saying women don't house that capacity. I'm saying we have to house a capacity to love a woman. The capacity we have, I don't think is the same capacity that a woman has, like the mandate we have. Look, you said Christ said, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Well, let's talk about what the church did to Christ. Number one, it chose another man over him at the point of death. And so, God, are you telling me that I got to love my wife even though she choose another man over me?
Okay. So let's go back to your original context of Mary and Joseph.
Okay.
If Joseph had the capacity to love past what she told him, he wouldn't have needed confirmation.
There you go.
Now let me bring that to today. We as women, naturally, unfortunately, a lot of women expect and accept when a man cheats, especially their husbands. We'll accept it, we'll deal with it. He'll bring us a baby home, we'll
Oh
help
Lord.
raise them,
Oh Lord.
we'll pay bills. No, hear me now. Hear me now. No, you
They
want to be
do
real
though.
about it.
They
We do that. But you
I ain't, but
let a woman go out and get her baby with another man, and she married, and you watch how fast he go, because his ability to love past that is different. Unfortunately, we live in this world where women have learned to accept having a piece of man, a little bit of man, a man they know they sharing, because they just want to have a man. But men will not do that. You know why? Because they know that they don't have to. So women have this thing that I'm going to love him past who he's with right now, because I'm going to convince him that I'm the one for him. But if Joseph had come to Mary and said, oh yeah, by the way, this lady I've been dealing with down the street is now carrying the chosen one, Mary would have been like, okay, no problem. She wouldn't have asked for confirmation. She'd have stood right there beside him. And that's
like
the
a fool.
difference for me in that ability for us to.
You just
She
like
would
a
have.
fool.
You just preached, sis. Because he did not connect the dots, but you came back and drew the lines.
Come on, Coach. You got your hand up. Come on, Coach.
That's why, going back to what I originally said, Dr. Reverend Bishop, is the reason why women love harder than
That's
men.
right.
Because
That's right.
women will forgive a man for just about any and everything that he did, but let a woman cheat on a man, he gonna break down and cry and I'm sure he gonna make snow angels in the sand because he hurt. Because he hurt. That's why I said originally, because it's the compassion that God has given a woman to have. It's the love that God has given a woman to have towards her family. And ready? Let's go back to my Friday conversation that I had on another podcast, the Proverbs 31 woman. If she can do all that, it never said nothing about a Proverbs 31 man doing half of that stuff. It said a Proverbs 31 woman. She does a whole lot for her family and for her husband. And then she turns around and do for herself. So the compassion and the love that she has for family first gives me the indication that she loves a little bit harder, because some men just ain't about to do half the stuff that she did. Let's just be honest. Just be honest. Most men ain't gonna do half the stuff that woman did. However, it's the way God intended for women to be, because see, he said, hey, I'm gonna be brothers, I apologize in advance for what I'm getting ready to say. I love y'all to the heart. But let me go ahead and throw some dirt on us. We ain't wrapped you tight. And there's some stuff that y'all women do. It's some stuff that y'all women do that us men be like, oh, I forgot we on live and it might be streaming, so I can't say what I was about to say. But we gonna be like, be like, please, I ain't doing all that. Oh shoot, hey, hold on. It's gonna be a Mary J. Blige. She better take me for who I am or have nothing at all. Skip it. Shoot. But a woman would be like, well, shoot, if he don't like that, let me switch it up. Oh, he don't like this hair? Let me go buy this one. Oh, he don't like that hair? Let me go buy this one. Oh, he want longer eyelashes? Let me go buy these. Oh, he want longer fingernails? Let me go get my Lee press-ons. She's going to go to she's going to go through the metamorphosis for him. It's just, girl, look, I got a beer belly. Take it or leave it. You don't like a beer belly? I know somebody down the street who like it. You ain't gotta like it, but I know somebody down the street who wanna rub on my belly. But a woman hear a man say, hey, your stomach getting kind of big. So is you pregnant again and I don't know? You know, I mean, it look like you about to have triqueplets in your belly and stuff. And quadruplets.
I don't know that number.
Quadruplets. But she would turn around and get every diet pill on the face of this earth to make herself look presentable for the most. Some.
I'm just,
as my sister said, some will go through the metamorphosis.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. See, this is the reason why, Elder Kim, we ain't only gonna do this just this one time, because you don't know how to act right.
I'm just saying, like, yes, some adjustments some women will make, but when it comes to certain things, like,
Well,
But
let me say this. Let
what
me say
you
this,
won't
Jay.
do,
Let me say this to
wrong
the
with.
Elder Kim. Elder Kim, I think one of the things we have to think about, there are women like us who truly know how to love ourselves through all of our flaws, imperfections, what people don't like, there are things about ourselves we like and don't like, but we say, is that something I'm willing to take myself up the hill, down the ladder, around the world to get fixed, right? But
Yeah,
then there are women who feel like they have to do
have to
that
do it.
because
I
they
agree.
don't know how to love
I
themselves,
totally
right?
agree.
So
I
for
totally
those
agree.
of us who are strong enough to know who we are, whose we are. Like if I took this little thing off my head right now, everybody else might have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with it. I did this because it's a reflection of the group of people that I'm with.
You better
I
be
did that
comfortable.
because I want us to be no, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. But my point is I wanted to also be professional because of what we're doing, because we're reaching people, right? And we all know that people react to what they see. But at the end of the day, I'm comfortable to take it off on here and just show people what's under
Come
here.
on now.
Well, now I got some hair.
Come
I
on.
got hair.
Come
I
on.
just
You do,
decided to put
sis.
that on there. I decided to put it on because it looks good on camera. And then Jake, don't even try, Jake.
Oh
We
my
all
God.
but my point is but see, that's the thing.
Right, sis. Not
Whether I
everybody
have
is
it
at
on or
the
not,
same level of
right. And
confidence.
everybody's not comfortable. So there are
You're
women
right.
who will go out of their way to make that man, feel as good as he need. But like you said, when brothers start getting that little spot in the back and we tell him go on and shave it bald, he talking about no, and he trying to hang on to it and he got all this,
Listen,
stuff in
You
his
better
beard and it's
let
listen.
it
scraggly and
go.
we want
I
him to
was
fix it.
glad to let
He
it
don't
go.
do it.
Let
But
it go.
okay,
I was glad to
I
let
don't
it go.
blame you.
I was glad when they said
I
unto
don't
me,
blame you.
come, let us go into the bald spot of the
Let us go
Lord.
to the barber.
Y'all
But you're right. It's an
crazy.
individual, like,
I'm
self-confidence
black ice
thing.
in mine until I can't black ice it no more. I'm sorry.
Now let me put my sparkles back on because they look better on the camera.
You know what?
Burrell, you look like you were about to say
He was
something.
getting ready to say something.
Yeah, Mr. Brumby said, is it Mr. Ronald said something? He said some men like fluffy women and the women we like don't like their image. I want to piggyback on that. That's crazy because I was just talking to somebody about that earlier today as it relates to image of women. I was telling them what contradicts us who like plus size women, and this is what I said. I'm kind of go what he's saying. I was like, it contradicts us when we say we love these plus size women, but then they go and run and get the gastric bypass and stuff themselves. And my friend had to explain that to me. It's not that they're getting the gastric to make themselves look different. It's just because it is sometimes in their mind not to make it seem like they don't like their image, but sometimes they do just want to be healthier. Because I said the same thing you said. I was like, I mean, y'all make me look bad when I'm telling people, I like plus size women. Then a month later, you done got the gastric. Now you skinny. But it kind of goes back to what you're saying about image. I think a lot of times.
Wait. For the people in the back, what's skinny?
You know what I mean? I mean, it's a lot of women I know who get the gastric and they go down from 3, 4, sometimes 5, 6 dress sizes. And I mean, I'm like what he kind of said, and kind of piggybacking what our elder said. I think that image is important in our community more times than not, because sometimes when you don't have money, you have nothing else. Your image is what you have. Your character is what you have. Your integrity is what you have. So you put a really big mindset behind that. So I totally agree with you. I think that the thing is for us is understanding as men that we have to be careful and cognizant of what we say to women, especially to how they feel about themselves, because we can, like you said, when we go bald, we can just shave it off. I mean, I've shaved mine off. I've let it grow low. I can grow my beard and we good. Whereas they have to go through a whole lot more dealing with not only our bias, but also society bias, their jobs bias, and so many other things that I don't think as men we understand in the totality of what women go through from an image perspective. And then when we give them what we want as well, it just kind of causes a lot. So I just want to throw that in there. I saw that comment.
That's right. You're right.
So, y'all, I want to shift just a little bit.
That sounds real positive.
Right.
And piggyback a little bit off of what someone said earlier, I think it was Coach Jay, about basically men being able to take what they give out. So I even wrote this out for y'all.
Uh-oh.
So do men not have the emotional fortitude to take what they dish out?
Absolutely not.
No.
They cannot. No.
Absolutely not.
Nope. We'll eat them for lunch.
Yeah, you
I
have
thought
to
you was
write
gonna ask
that down.
something. I thought you was gonna ask
So,
something hard.
Yeah,
okay.
you have to write that down.
So, if you can't take it, why you trying to play the game? Because baby, some of us will eat you alive.
I'm trying to
Eat
tell
you
you.
alive.
I'm trying to tell
Why
you.
you want to play games?
I don't think it's that. I think women don't set the bar for that to be okay. I mean, if we both
There
gonna
you
play
go.
games, we both gonna do it, then let's do it. But don't come in it like, oh, I got these standards, and you got to do this. You got to jump over the fence, and you remember the horse racing back in the day where they had the obstacle courses and the horses had to jump over all the bars. We don't have to go through that. If we both want to have fun, chill, and do what we do you. And a lot of men, guess what? You're not going to mind. But I also will tell you this. It's a lot of men who are going to end up falling in love faster and harder that way than it is you trying to make me chase you and do it the traditional way. It is a lot of times where a dude like myself, for instance, or anybody, we can play that game for a long time, but it's a lot of times we'll catch feelings for you. And then when you be like, I'm good, sir. Then you'll start seeing, whoa.
You know what?
Wait. What they say?
right.
What they say?
Look, me
What
and
they say?
my sis was talking about. We and my kid was talking about when we treat y'all like nothing, then y'all got
Then y'all
feelings.
be all over.
But if we act like we care about y'all,
Then y'all
you
want to
act
like we don't matter.
This is the problem. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to be done. The church has to repent and apologize to Black women, period. I was looking at the special on PBS, and the thing that the Black church has done last year, I was asked 6 times to do one of these pray for my spouse things, and I said, I'm not doing it. We have to stop having women think that God is about to present this man in some iron glass to them if they do everything right, and that's the totality of what God wants a woman to do is
we be lying.
Kids and be some man's arm candy. That's not it. You might never ever get married, and God, guess what? God's okay with that. And we as a church have to apologize to Black women especially, because for 10, 15, 20 years, we be telling them to live perfectly, and God's going to send you a man, and these men, myself included, who got 5 kids, been doing whatever we want to do, and we think God is going to, we can do whatever we want to do, and the woman has to live in plurality, and God's going to send her some man. That's not it. And that has been the problem. We have women living like it's their job to be perfect, and God's going to send them someone instead of living life and having fun. I'm not saying have fun by being sexy, promiscuous, anything like that, but I'm just talking about just dating, going out, meeting people, knowing yourself, going on dates, doing stuff. But we have women thinking, oh no, you great, God gonna give you this husband, and 10, 15 years later, they ain't got no man, and they mad at God, the pastor, and the church, and they
everybody. They mad at everybody.
You're right about
I just want to take a quick second and be like, y'all, when I turn this way, y'all see them how them lashes hit.
I cannot. Why would you? Why would you?
No, but you're correct, and it's like, I guess my question is, why do you guys expect for us to deal with things that you know you don't want to deal with? Y'all know y'all can't handle being cheated on. Y'all know y'all can't handle your woman getting pregnant by another man. Y'all know y'all can't handle half of it. When I say y'all, I don't mean y'all. I'm just saying men in general. So why is it that you would expect for women to put up with things that you wouldn't put up with yourself? But then I guess that goes back to
because we've done it.
It's about the standard that we set, because we don't have to necessarily put up with it.
That's right.
We just choose to. Well, they just choose to, because I ain't got time for that.
Now let me say this. Let me go back to something Kim just said. Why do they expect us to put it? They expect us to put up with it because we have. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Back in the 20s and 30s, for example, when our grandparents and great-grandparents were married and they had 8, 9, 10, 15 children. And then you, my sister, you got 15 children at your house, and Ebony got 13 children at her house. So let's say I'm married to Jay, and Jay go out and make a baby. Where I'm going? I can't go to my sister's house with 15 kids because she got 15 kids.
Right.
So women have put up with this because, well, he provides and he makes sure the children have, and we okay. And so we dealt with it over the years. So it's a mindset that's been passed down to us generationally, that you just stand by him and you work through it. That it's just a man. He just going through what he's going through. His testosterone speaking. Well, I want you to know I got a little testosterone of my own sometimes. I got a little libido too. And if I was acting out with that, then you have a problem with it. But now the difference is nowadays, I may have 2 kids, you got 2 kids, Ebony got 2 kids. So if something pop off at my house, now I got somewhere I can go. So women have not yet learned that they have an outlet, that they don't have to stay and put up with him out running around and doing whatever he do, nor does he have to put up with her. The difference is it hits a man differently. It hits his ego differently when his boys find out that your girl out there running around, but you still taking her back. What kind of dude are you? What kind of man are you? You gonna just let your woman be out here in the street? Well, what kind of woman would I be if I let my man be out in the street? If you can come down to the club and get me because I'm out there dropping it like it's hot, then I'm gonna come down to the club and get you. We're gonna both embarrass each other. But the problem is women have accepted it to be the norm. It is okay. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No. We gotta stop.
I promise you.
Wait, Red. What?
Jay, you look like you got something you want to say, sir.
Believe it or not, Jay and I are really on the same page, I'd say. I really say Jay and I are really thinking a lot alike, because people forget that we all want the same thing. We want to love and be loved. We want to be respected and protected. My husband wants me to respect him as much as I want my husband to respect me. I want my husband to love me as hard as I love him. But at the end of the day, you can't make somebody do anything. You have to be your best you, set the expectation of what you will and will not accept. Like my husband and I, we talk about this all the time. We have a deal. If you ever get tired of me, don't kill me. Just tell me to leave. I'm gone. You ain't got to hurt me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't go out and bring no baby home. He can't go out and bring no baby home. Now, I always tell people, don't ever say what your folk won't do, because you don't know. You don't know if your husband or your wife will cheat. You have to make up your mind whether or not you're willing to deal with it if they do. But that should be between you and him. And like Jay said, the problem happens is something happens and go down bad in my relationship. First thing I want to do is call Ebony, girl, you ain't gonna believe what he did to me. No, you need to go in there and hash it out with him. And keep your business in your room. So that way, if something did happen, everybody ain't got to know, and you can save a little face. Because at the end of the day, we all really trying to save a little face. And thank you. The black church in general does owe black women an apology, but the world owes black women an apology.
Oh, that ain't never gonna happen. The black world.
I know, but I'm gonna tell them they owe us one. They gonna know for me.
You better tell them, Rev.
They know.
You better tell them.
They owe us one. We done raised y'all children. We done nursed y'all children. We done had y'all husbands some babies. We done cooked y'all food. Okay, I'm not gonna go. Go ahead, Jay.
Go. I'm saying, go ahead on. You speaking on.
Well,
go ahead.
I got a question.
This your one question.
You said don't do that. When you said keep your business to yourself, do you think that's a double-edged sword? Because I think that's a double-edged sword.
Well, I'm not saying don't speak and talk about it, but that is why we now have been blessed enough to have professionals who are obligated by law to keep confidentiality. See, pastors, preachers, elders, evangelists, whoever your counselor is, that's not obligated by the law to keep your business and conversation personal, will not necessarily keep it personal. So my thing is, you should go seek professional counseling because they're obligated by law. Because at least if you're going to run and tell my business and you're a professional, I'm going to sue you. So you're going to pay my husband and I after you done put my business in the street. That's it.
And I also think like one thing, I'm sorry, sis.
No, go ahead, babe.
One thing that I think we don't keep in mind, if I get into it with my boo, and I always run to Ebony every time he and I get into it, eventually she's going to start looking at him like, she's going to have an issue with him, which will put a strain possibly on her relationship and my relationship, because she don't see the good side, because all I'm telling her is the bad. So she just
That's
thinks
right.
he's a horrible individual because that's
Mhm.
all I'm telling her is the bad things about him.
That's
We
right.
forgive him. I'm laying down next to Pookie. We good. She over there ready to cut him because he hurt her sister.
That's
So
right.
that's
That's
another
exactly right.
reason why you
And I'm
just really
coming.
got to.
That's right.
you gotta
And I'm
be
coming.
careful.
So
And you know what? Even more than with our friends, we need to be mindful of that with our parents, because when we're married and our husbands or wives get on our nerve and we call and have that conversation with our parents, your parents don't forget when you call them crying. Your parents don't forget when their daughter said that he did X, Y, and Z, or he don't come home at night and he leave me here and we ain't got this and we don't have that. You know, they forget all that. You know, you forget it, but your parents don't forget that. So I always tell folks, be mindful of what you share with your parents. And if you have children, especially, first of all, you don't need to have your children in your business anyway. But for folks who have adult children, they tend to want to have, that's number one. But because we know people do that, you know, you have to think about how that ends up. And you're absolutely right, Kim. As soon as I had a girlfriend, every time her and her husband get into it, she'd run to me, she'd come to me. And finally, I told her that last time, I said, let me tell you something. I said, now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to help you move. I said, but if you come back over here, you're going to have to call somebody else. You're going to have to call somebody else. Only way I'm coming is if your life in jeopardy. Because if you keep going back to this foolishness, this is obviously the foolishness you want. And her thing was, well, he's not always like this. Well, then you need to tell me he's not always like this. You're telling me this is what he does all the time. And I can't condone that behavior.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Jay. Oh, Jay's muted.
He can unmute himself.
I've been muted for a while. I was just letting y'all, you know, talk and all that other good stuff. However, there's a 3 chord that happens when you get married. You, your husband, and Jesus. That's some stuff you just need to go to the throne room about and let God deal with y'all together. There's some self, and I agree with everything that's been said. Let me fall back and then come forward. The church needs to apologize, and y'all right. The church does need to apologize to women. However, the church also needs to apologize to men, and let me tell you why. Yes, we need to apologize to all the black women because we have made y'all feel like y'all was wrong for leaving us. Y'all were wrong for abandoning us when we needed y'all the most. However, the black church also needs to apologize to the men because we never set a standard for the men to follow. We've always gave leeway to men. Well, you know, there's some stuff that he didn't say, and he and you know the society to the black man is harder than no nigga. You need to make us step up and take claim about where we are. I've messed up. I tell on myself, I've been married twice. I got 2 kids. That's 4 different women that I have heard. And nobody in the church said, Jonathan, you wrong. You need to, nobody said, Jonathan, you need to get you together before you jump back out there and start trying to be with somebody.
But
no pastor ever
they
said
don't say you wrong because you bring value to the church.
And that's how do I Rodney, how do I add value when I'm
here's how. Here's how. If you are a good image to the church,
yes,
they're not gonna say anything to you. They're not gonna sit you down. They're not gonna do anything.
If my image is tainted by the foolery that I'm being involved in, how good is my image? Because all I'm doing is showing the next generation, hey dog, guess what? You can get married, get divorced, cheat with the chick in the choir, stop dealing with her, go to the deaconess, stop dealing with her, then you can run past one of the old ladies because one of the mothers been looking at you too. You can try to get some money out of her too, and then you can leave that church and go 40 minutes away to a whole nother church and do it all over again. And it's okay.
Because you know where the bodies are buried and nobody's gonna say nothing to you.
But where does that fall in to my positive witness in the church?
It doesn't.
Because it's a small world after all.
Yeah.
And just because you went to another county, or you went about an hour and a half the other way, shoot, there's somebody there that know the chick that you used to deal with. And social media is so messed up because that's why I said, please keep my name and my pictures off your social media if it ain't positive. This my boo. No, if we not talking about being together for real and being married, I don't need to be in your pictures, because that's how messy stuff starts and keeps going. We need to actually stop what we're doing, and we need to be accountable for the bull crap that we're doing and say, hey, man, you wrong, bruh.
But I can't hold you accountable if I have a history of doing what you just did.
But listen to what Brother Ronald just said.
But that's the vicious cycle that we need to. Somebody say, hey, come on, bruh. You in the pulpit preaching.
Somebody has to say stop.
Somebody has to say, but you in the pulpit preaching, and your mess is out here in these streets, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
What is you doing? Chill.
I agree, 1,000%.
Brother Ronald Brumley said, when I messed up and did all that Jay is saying, my pastor did not sit me down because I was teaching and preaching. I sat myself down. So that's self-accountability. And most people, when they're in the limelight, Ronald, and I'm glad you shared that with us, don't have self-accountability. They don't know when to go sit down. They don't, look at themselves, like Jay said, you're out here doing what you want to do. So they don't look at themselves and say, oh, I need to go check myself. I need to take a sabbatical. I need to get back in touch with God. I need to ask God for forgiveness. Not only that, I need to get up and ask my church for forgiveness. Another young lady said that they sat a young lady down and a guy was playing the drums and they didn't sit him down. See, that goes back to he's just a man. He's just a man. He got caught up. Now, the same way y'all want us to take birth control pills and not get pregnant, y'all need to be using some condoms and not get people pregnant. But see, nobody ever says anything. And one of the biggest problems we have in the Black church is that we don't want to talk about sex. We act like sex don't exist.
No,
we act like sex is not. I'm going there. I'm going there because that's the problem. We don't educate ourselves. We don't educate our children. We don't talk about this stuff. We act like whether the school is going to teach them. Yeah, just like you think the school was going to teach them during COVID, and you found out real quick that you had to become the teacher. So the same way you've been teaching them virtually, you need to start teaching them at home and stop expecting the school system to do it. The church has been the backbone and foundation of the Black community for the last however many years we've been in this country. I ain't even fit to get ready to count. So my thing is, why aren't we talking about those things? Why aren't we talking about the importance of young ladies keeping your legs closed, but young men, keep your thing in your pocket the same way you want us to keep our legs closed? It goes both ways. We don't want to talk about it.
It don't bring money. It don't bring money into the church. So
talking about it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If it don't pay,
don't talk about what happened in my house. What happened in this house stays. Everything is so secretive. Yet still we running out here running around running the mud doing all kinds of things, but nobody is talking about it. Everything is a secret.
Just think about
all mud duck.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You get a bishop at a connectional meeting and stand up and say, I was married and I cheated and I was wrong. Man, please.
I think the danger is the fact that it's this show I love on Apple TV. It's called The Morning Show. And the first episode, the guy gets fired for infidelity. And a young lady who had cussed out a protester, she was recorded. She didn't know. And so Jennifer Aniston was the other character. She was interviewing the young lady, was Renee Zellweger. Not Renee Zellweger. What's the other girl? Reese Witherspoon. And so she was interviewing Reese Witherspoon's character, and Reese Witherspoon's character was explaining what happened. And Jennifer Aniston was old school. So she said, I think you're faking. I don't think that was real. I think it was staged. Why would you be transparent like that? And the new school anchor was like, why wouldn't I? I think the world is tired of us having journalists, in this case, who report the news without any authenticity. And we're in an environment that does not reward authenticity, because when you become authentic, you destroy your credibility in this arena. So you have preachers like you saying, Rodney, who struggle, and this is the thing that we don't talk about with preachers, especially. You have preachers who struggle with fornication and adultery, not because they're bad people. They've never been taught how to handle it in a way to be able to say, hey, this is an issue I'm dealing with and I need help. So I can't tell you about my sin because I can't even talk about it. So what we do is we destroy the sin that we can see, homosexuality, because that's something we see. We can demonize that right quick. That's not something that we are dealing with, or it's not as visible. It's not visible when I beat my wife.
That's
if
right.
She don't come to the church with her eyes bloody. It's not visible if I sleep with 4 or 5 women, even the ones who get pregnant, because that takes the pressure off me. Right. It's visible if I see this little girl or this little boy flanting around, or this girl dressing in boys' clothes, and I can demonize that and take the pressure off of my own issues, which is causing these preachers to commit suicide and these praise and worship leaders to commit suicide, because at no point have we sat down as the Black church and said, guess what? You're going to have urges. You're going to want to have sex. You're going to want to cheat on your wife. We church it, and Jesus the answer by saying, you just got to pray to God. You got to be your.
You got to tarry at the altar.
Yeah, I've been married before, and my marriage was failed, and I was miserable. And the preachers telling me, oh, that's just everything. You just go through that. You just got to pray more. No, I don't. Tell me from a practical standpoint on how I handle this issue, because the problem, and this is and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been on a couple of Facebook Lives and podcasts here these last couple of weeks about what's the status of the Black church. For me, I'm tired of them, because we keep talking about the status and y'all ain't changing nothing. You don't want to change. So stop asking me what the status is when the status is the stuff that we want to change, you're not willing to do, because it does not reward you with what the benefit that you want to see.
It doesn't bring in money.
It doesn't bring in. Burrell, the status is still the same. It's just another day. What are you asking me the same question? It was the same in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016. Ready? Hey, Rodney, watch this. 1990, 1980, 1970. Ain't nothing changed but the year. Stop asking stupid questions and get to the realness of why we still hurt. That's why. Watch this. This is funny. So here in the state of Michigan, this is where I'm at for people who don't know. Once COVID hit, there was a meeting that happened with some predominantly Black pastors here. They invited the Caucasian pastors, predominantly Caucasian pastors, to the same meeting. So they're all on the phone having a Zoom call or whatever meeting this was. And they were trying to what we going to do? How we going to survive? What's going to happen to the church? And the funny thing is, the Caucasian church was like, what do you mean what we going to do?
Exactly.
We're going to do the same thing we've been doing for years. We're good. Oh, that's what this call was about? Oh, that's what no, because they deal with the problem. That's the issue. They still have issues. They still have stuff going on. But the thing is, they actually put it out there.
Well, technology really exposed a lot of the Black church.
Yeah.
Yes. True. Yes, it did.
It exposed people who get sermons online. It exposed people who folk didn't know was married that are. It exposed people who are saying one thing but doing another. Technology exposed a lot of things that are wrong in the Black church. I heard this lady. She said, "You stupid if you take Ray back because he cheated on you with Shaquisha." And then the comment said, "Yeah, but do you think Grandma would have took Papa back if she had social media?"
Thank you.
I think, and that goes back to what both of y'all are saying earlier. It's a different time now. Like the stuff that your grandma, what movie was I looking at? One of the movies from back in the 70s, 80s, whatever. And it was showing them like in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Or even my grandmama. When my mama tells me, about family stuff and all that kind of stuff. And you sit there and you say, at that time, women weren't able to work. They weren't able to make a living. They weren't able to do certain things. Not able to work, but to make the kind of money that men were making. So they had to live and deal with that. And I think that and the thing is, I think we don't truly in the church talk about how patriarchal church is. We just now and sometimes still have a problem with saying God might not be a man. And people will tell me that I'm anti-church. I'm like, it's just a reality. But we not this man, and it's never been. And
because
don't nobody forgive you over and over and over and over again.
Money.
And it's like what Coach said, like we are arguing about this, and I tell people all the time, and I have preached this to youth conferences everywhere. I tell them something simple that you could do in your community is use your church van that most churches have, that you're not using during the week, Monday through Friday, and go pick up the people in the community. Take them to the gas station, take them to the grocery store, take these single mothers and even some of these single fathers and grandmothers to their doctor's appointment. Ask me if you ever did it. So you have the tool to be transformative, but you don't want to do that because that doesn't fill your pockets, like you're saying, Ronnie. And the danger of this is we're not teaching people. It should not be a hard conversation to talk to adults about sexuality. Because like Coach is saying, these white churches are talking about it. And that's why black people go there in groves. Because the white folk judge you just like we do. But you're not as involved. You go there, you there 20 minutes. You don't mind giving it to the white man because the white man is smart. He parked his Bentley in the back of the church. We want to park it under the church. We need 18 armor bearers to get us out of our car. And they doing the same thing that we doing with the same mindset of gaining something, but they don't make it so obvious. And my thing is, a crook cannot seem to crook, but he just hide his true intention. And the black church don't even know how to do it right. And so we have people who've been boggled down. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm just on this women tip.
Go ahead.
Women especially who we have destroyed and humiliated. Put them in front of churches, have them repent in front of church because you pregnant?
On the morning.
Bro, say that.
Where was
he?
I hate to say this. There's a friend of mine who was assaulted for 10 years, I think. And there's people still cheering the pastor on like this girl over here lying. That is insane to me. How in the world have we come to the place where we protect these vicious animal preachers and we still demonize the woman? It bothers me. And this is the reason why it's hard for people to come and enjoy us, because they just want us to be real. So that's why this whole woke movement and this whole Hebrew Israelites and this whole atheism is on a rise, because guess what? The truth that they want from the church, they cannot receive.
Right.
Well, here at the Freedom House, we talk about everything.
Yeah.
And that's and Burrell, you said something really interesting. You said that the pastor parked his Bentley at the church. No, he don't. He don't even drive it. He drive that little GMC SUV that he has.
You
don't even bring his Bentley to the church because he don't want to see it or know it. But you'll check him out. Check it. But and here's the other thing. He said something powerful, and I say this all the time. We're talking about demonizing people that, the woman that's pregnant has got to be sat down. And I always make the comment that we have had gay black men who have been choir directors and praise and worship leaders. They got your churches jamming. Your choir sound good. Your church is growing. But all of a sudden, you got a problem with him. But Sister Mary been lying and keeping up confusion all the year. But because you can't see her sin, then nobody has anything to say to Sister Mary. Well, I set Sister Mary down in my choir because she was keeping up confusion. My thing is, a sin is a sin. The difference is when people can think they can visibly see your sin. And to get back on those pastors who are doing things and getting away with it, and like you said, not dealing with their own issues, I tell people this, since the age of 15 that I can remember. I tell people from the time I was born till 16, I never missed a Sunday at church. But I can honestly tell you from the age of 15 to now, and I'm married, that I get hit on by more preachers and bishops than anybody that I know.
Oh, you gonna get stoned.
Yeah,
You gonna get stoned.
I ain't gonna get stoned. I'm not gonna get stoned because here's reality. Here's reality. My point is this: they're still men, and what we have to do as women is understand that their position does not give them authority over us. So what I do is I politely put them back in my place, and I'll say, number one, brother, I'm married. Number two, aren't you married? So let's respect our relationship, okay? But my thing is,
that's the part for me.
Aren't you right? Aren't you married? But see, the thing is that
a lot of them don't care.
They don't care.
They don't.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They be
So you have
all of it.
Yeah, you know, and I tell people we as women, we have to know our strength in the church, because let me tell you right now, if you took the black woman out of churches, you wouldn't have nobody sitting in there.
We are the church.
Because a lot of men go to church because they know that's where the women at. And a lot of them that go to church, let me just go on and put it out there, J Form. A lot of men that go to church is because they done finished doing all their dirt and they stuff don't work like it used to back in the day. So they ain't got no more women to chase because they ain't got nothing to chase them with. So now it's time to do right and come to the Lord. Yeah, I said it.
I'm dead.
Come to Jesus.
I'm dead.
So now that they ain't got nothing to play with, they want to come to church every Sunday and be on the deacon board. And yeah, they ain't got nothing to play with no more. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And the ladies at the church don't want you after you used up. Now let's be real.
That's right. That's right. Which only thing you're gonna be able to do for her then is pay some bills. And the reality is y'all know, just like I know. See, y'all want to talk about real stuff. As we get older, our libido change. And y'all do something and go on the opposite direction. So my thing is, for those men who have done well and done right, then they can still be able to come to church with they boo and they lady and they looking the part. But when some of these brothers done been out here in the street, they got 8, 9 children with 8, 9 different women. Now they want to come to Christ because they ain't nothing left for nobody else. So now I at least come to the Lord and see, can I find me a good church woman? Literally, they don't have nothing
financially. Physically, emotionally. Did I say financially?
Say it again. Say it again. Say financially one more time.
I just want to thank everybody that's in the comments and listening to us and stuff, man. Thank y'all. I see a lot of my people out here, man. Melody Hart, man. We just left church. I just left church with her. I just want to thank everybody for coming in and dealing with this tomfoolery that we got going on in here. I'm glad that everybody that is on here today. It is the truth. It needs to be said. I'm glad that everybody is here. The truth is being said. Hey, the revolutionary will not be televised, but tonight it is. Tonight it is.
Coach, I tell people, especially young preachers, that come and ask me stuff, they be like, I tell them, the church has a hierarchy system that once you go to a certain level, the currency changes from money to secrets.
Oh.
And so because the currency changes, now I no longer care about how much money you make. I care about whether you can keep a secret. And if you can keep a secret, I can promote you. If you cannot keep a secret, then you stay wherever you are. Until you learn, watch this, until you learn how to keep a secret.
That's the whole
Now that I've learned, watch this. Now that I've learned how to keep a secret, who do I tell when my spirit is longing because this is wrong, but I got bills to pay?
That's right. You
so
said
then
mouthful.
I go, right? So I go to the people that I have now switched currencies with, aka secrets, and they tell me, not food for my soul, they tell me how to get away with it.
There you go.
They tell me how to do it right. So while the church thinks I am delivered in real life, I've learned how to smooth it over.
Hide it.
That's right.
And that's why I feel like we will never well, I don't say never because, with Jesus, all things are possible. But it's hardly ever going to be a time where the folk get a chance to tell the unadulterated truth without the consequence of the truth.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Without it bringing down certain key people
Exactly.
in the
That's right.
church. Because I have lived my life believing Bishop so-and-so was super clean. But what I
right.
failed to realize was Bishop so-and-so is the biggest dope dealer in the game
That's all
in
I'm
my
saying. That's all
city.
I'm saying. That's all I'm
In my city.
You know,
And although he like Gucci man, I never touched dope. I ain't gotta touch it. But guess what? That money surely filtered through my bank account because I know the key people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
But you know what's crazy? Like what you're saying, Ryan. I remember everybody loved Noel Jones. I mean, I don't know a person who did not think Noel Jones was the most anointed man in the universe. And I remember when he got on that little reality show, my mama's prayer group. I was sitting at the dinner table with my mama's prayer group, and oh my God, I can't never watch him and say, what? How did his anointing leave him? And the problem is, for the longest, we've never been able to look and know the secrets of these preachers. But now with social media, like some of my preacher friends, they'll post themselves smoking a cigar. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? But it's so transparent now because people just can't handle your reality. And so with that, I know for me, even with me, it's certain things I don't even post on Facebook joking wise, just because I'm afraid of somebody saying, oh, you supposed to be a preacher. And I ain't even talking about nothing nasty. I'm just talking about something that's funny that might have the A word or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you say that you look at a show on TV. So it's just crazy, like you're saying, on how many secrets we have. But even with what we're saying, this also affects us with having happy marriages as me.
That's right.
You're telling me to marry a woman for the image instead of the woman that I truly love or cares about me. And then I end up divorce or end up cheating. I know for me, it was hard for me because I didn't have the kind of marriage that I wanted growing up. So I didn't see that. Like I thought the Huxtables was fake. I mean, it was fake, but I thought that was just a TV love until I met my pastor, my co-pastor. And I was like, I would ask people like, they really can't be like this in real life. There's no way. Or like my mentors, when I was around Bishop William Murphy and his wife, I was like, it's no way to act like this all the time. And I had to ask them, how do you handle this stuff? Because my marriage failed because I didn't have the positive people to tell me, oh, that's normal what you're going through. It's because in my mind, when I got in church and I got married, when I first got in church, I was thinking if I thought about cheating on my wife, oh, I don't love her. If I thought about kissing another woman, oh, I don't love her. But nobody told me that that's normal. You just have to fight that. I didn't know that. Like it sounds simple, but I literally didn't know. And I would talk to these preachers and they would give me these churchy things that I don't think it's their fault. I'm not blaming them because I don't want to make it seem like we coming down on preachers. I don't want to make it like that. No. But I don't think they always had the freedom to be able to have those kind of conversations with people to be true enough. I tell people all the time when I talk to people about if I really love a woman, I never go to my preaching friends. I go to my street friends because they keep it real. My preacher friends can be cheating and they won't even tell me they cheating, and we all know.
That's it. Go ahead, Jay.
All know, Reverend.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just want to say there was this gay preacher here in Detroit, and they actually interviewed him on the radio on a Christian gospel station. They interviewed him, and the one thing he said was, you know why I get men coming? You know why I am so you know why I have so many pastor friends? He said, because pastors don't have anyone that they can go to that they can just be themselves. So what I do is make the pastor feel comfortable to be himself, while all along breaking him down so I can get what I want from him. The sad thing is that we as the black community or the black community / black church, I'm going to put both of us in there, we don't have that safe place. We don't have that safe space to come and just be real. Pastors don't have that friend that's why I invented the locker room. Pastors don't have that person that they can come to and be like, man, look, my wife is getting on my last nerves, bruh. I don't want to kill her, but I just want her to get out my face for a couple of days because she irking my nerve. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. But he can't say that because he's Pastor so-and-so, and he has to play the part. And we as people, human, like you was just said in the comment, we're still human. We have a side to just be normal, just be human, just have. I know we're not supposed to have a fleshly side, but we have fleshly side. Look, she is getting on my last nerves. Look, them kids ain't even mine. Matter of fact, she and them kids can go back over there with her mama. Because they're getting on my last nerve.
The kids ain't mine. Now you tell
Look,
me.
the kids ain't even mine. Now look,
Coach Jay.
I took her in. She had 4 kids by 3 different dudes, and they were all under the age of 7. I took them in, then I became pastor. Now all of them think that they mine. Yeah, they mine because I gave them my last name. But truthfully, she's still dealing with her baby daddy.
That's right.
Now he want to be daddy now all of a sudden. So now I got to deal with him calling her at all types of nights and want to pick up the kid. We need a place for us to be safe.
Yeah.
We need a place for us to just be real. I'm like you. We got a cigar bar here, and there was a couple of preachers that was in there, and I was like, Jesus, you just got out the pulpit. Now you smoking a cigar. Bro, why is you... Then when Jamal Bryant did it, he just looked like a deer in hell. He like, bro, you have to have that safe place. Ready? Hey, Kim, let me talk about Kwame Kilpatrick for a second. Bro, you're the first black mayor. The youngest black mayor in Detroit. In Detroit. If you played the game right, you would have been the first black governor Michigan would have had.
He would have been.
Then you would have been the second black president the United States ever had. But you so stupid, you trying to take your mistress to this little mosey wosey in the suburbs. Bro, you get caught up in a stripper getting killed at your house. Bro, how stupid are you? But he didn't have a safe place or a safe space to be him and say, bro, I just need, look, please forgive me. This is not me. This is Kwame Kilpatrick. Look, bro, I need me a lap dance, not from my wife, and I need a strong drink. Somebody find me a house and a car party to go to. Because before him, Coleman Young was the G of Detroit. Coleman Young could do no wrong, and he was the biggest dope dealing mayor that the states ever had.
Right.
But Coleman Young knew how to keep his stuff. Hey, Coleman Young knew how to keep his stuff. Hey, he wanted to go to the little mosey wosey. He wanted to go to the strip club. They were like, hey, bro, come here. Hey, look, I got the mayor and I got some of his constituents. They want to party. You need to get all of them clothes. You need to close in the next hour. He'll be here. And they will close up shop. And then Coleman Young will come in and buy up the bar.
Spaces have to also be able to keep you accountable.
That's the part we don't do. That's the part we don't do. Rodney, I can be your safe place. You can be my safe. But what you're not gonna do is, or what some people don't do is like, Jonathan, you know good and well you married, bro. Why you talking about you going on these vacations?
Yes.
And you meeting.
Judgment seeps into the safe place.
That's right.
It has to. If it's a real safe place. If it's real, then account me for what I'm doing right, and let me be accountable to me if I'm doing wrong. But we don't want to do that because we don't want to lose our friendships.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. So, are you saying, Rodney, that there should be no type of judgment or accountability in the safe place?
Well, I'm saying there can be judgment and accountability. It just depends on when you do it.
I do it when you do
So
it. When you come in here with your
Yeah,
stuff,
well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna check
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Because if I'm
yeah,
your
well,
friend, Rodney,
yeah.
if I'm your friend and you come to me with something and you say, "Listen, sis, I need to talk to you. I'm going through this. How do I deal with this?" I got my wife. I'm just using this as an example. I got my wife, but I also got this young lady that I love to talk to. She's a really good friend, but now I'm starting to develop feelings for her. The first thing I'm gonna tell you to do is go ahead and stop having that constant conversation with this other person. Put some distance between you. Not that y'all can't still be friends, but you need to refocus your attention on your wife, because she's
right.
giving you some attention that you want at the moment that you're not getting from your wife, but you can't get it from your wife because you're focusing your attention somewhere else. So if I'm going to be your safe place and your friend, I got to be able to be honest with you too. I'm not going to tell you, "Hey, bro, you can't never talk to her no more." I'm telling you, refocus where you're putting your energy so that you can get yourself straightened out. I want you to be able to come and confide in me and talk to me about it, but you got to be open enough to let me give you back what you need to hear that holds
That's what's
you
pretty
to that
good.
level of accountability. Because we're not saying that, as pastors and ministers and men and women of God, that we're not going to fall. We're saying that when we do fall, when we do have that thought, when we do slip or do dip or whatever we're going to do, we should be able to come to each other, have the conversation, get some enlightenment, some guidance, some prayer. But you still need to be held accountable, because much like you've said, once
Now,
that hierarchy goes up and those secrets get deeper, nobody holds anybody accountable, which is why we keep
Accountable.
going in this vicious cycle.
now
So we
watch
gotta
this.
hold each other accountable.
Okay, now watch this. When you tell me that, right,
Mhm.
then I get a general conference vote that you need. I'm mad at you because you held me accountable. And I tell other people, she a goody two shoes. Don't vote for her because I'm bitter. They don't know because I have the swaying power,
Your
right?
power ain't
Mhm.
bigger than God's, though.
It's
So
not
you
bigger
say
than
what you want
God's,
to say,
but
and you
that
tell them
but
people
the
what you
church
want to
has to
tell them
listen
people.
to God, not listen to people.
I think that's part of the problem, and this kind of like
Absolutely. That
that's
is
part of
the
the
problem.
problem. We put, because you hold these positions, you think you're God, and so just because you have the
Absolutely.
power. Now I'm not talking about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm just saying I think that's what happened. The higher up that people go, the higher the positions that they obtain. They feel like they're untouchable and nothing can happen to them. They feel like they've made themselves their own God. They're their own deity, so they can do what they want, and there's no repercussions. And that's the problem. There's no accountability. And when there's no accountability, people become their own gods.
Well, I like to tell people what's happened is we've gotten laxed on the CEP ministry. And the CEP ministry is conviction, exposure, punishment. That is the way God handled things in the Bible. Take David when he slept with Bathsheba. Conviction. You know that ain't your wife. Okay. Conviction didn't work. He told Uriah to come back from home and thinking he gonna sleep with Bathsheba. Okay. Now you done exposure. Now you done kill Uriah because Bathsheba pregnant. You still don't want to do right. Here's your punishment. Your baby gonna die. Now, what happens now is God has now and since Jesus, we have this long suffering thing, right? So conviction may last for a little while, exposure may last for a little while, then punishment, and we like, Lord, what I do wrong? You know what you did wrong. You know what you did wrong. But watch this. I use Bishop Eddie Long as an example. I don't know if he got right with the Lord before he died, God rest his soul. I don't know. But here's what I do know. There is no way the devil gonna snatch the sheets off of what he does at night while he's a bishop and not while he's down here. It took, and you cannot convince me that nobody knew what he was doing down here when he got up here. You ain't gonna convince me of that.
There was no accountability. I'm sure
Exactly.
several people knew.
And so what happens is the currency changed from money.
I was waiting for you to hit that, bro. I was waiting for you to hit that.
The currency changed. So now I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because I need to pay my bills. And if you give me a bonus for finding your sin of choice, yes, my morality should say, no, I shouldn't do that. But my pockets say, Duke Power due tomorrow. This Bentley that I'm driving because of your ministry is due in a week.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. And I know that happens, but I don't know. I guess it's just, I don't know. My thought process is just different because that just tells me that you're wasting your time getting up, going through this ritual, going to this church, worshiping this God that you say you worshiping. Because if you're really worshiping God and you're really trusting God and you're really doing this not out of routine but out of your relationship with Him, then it really won't matter what this person won't do for you because I trust you, God, to handle my bills. I trust you, God, to make a way.
Okay, so watch this. So watch this. What happens when God's plan is for your life to be like Joseph's life when Potiphar accused him of cheating? What happens when that's your plight? Because see, we always want to paint the picture that it's going to be all good when it technically was all good for him, but it wasn't all good when his brother sold him. It wasn't all good when he got through in jail.
But what happened? Keep going.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what happened. God vindicated him, but how many of us can stick to the plan till the vindication comes?
If you don't stick to it, you can't expect any vindication to arrive.
Well, it's hard to stick to it when Duke Powers do, but you giving me this money now.
I don't know because
so what I'm hearing,
he ain't never sold me out. He ain't never left me not one time.
Absolutely.
Time that I needed.
How long, sis? So Reverend. So what I am hearing is that as the currency changes, as the people shift, you're just saying that people should just shut their mouth. Cause that's what I hear.
No, he's not saying that. No. Don't put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby.
No, he's
saying that's what I'm asking. I'm asking for some clarification. Because it said as the currency shift. Because what I heard as the hold on. What I heard is the currency shift. What I'm hearing is that the people that you need in your circle need not check you, because that's all I heard. So I need you to share some light and clarification on that.
No, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, and we all know this is not just a church thing. This is anything in business.
Like, period.
Or yes man you don't have, period.
Absolutely.
And you get more and more yes men and you replace the people who would have checked you with more and more yes men, it allows you to have a godlike complex. Again, this is a reason why one of the things I loved about being around Bishop William Murphy is his chair is not in the pulpit. His chair is on the floor with his members. White people, their chair, this pastor Impact Church, in Atlanta, East Point, he doesn't even have a chair. Olu Brown, Impact Church, he don't even have a chair. He is walking in, sitting with the people. His wife don't have no seat. And this is the problem that what Reverend Rodney is saying, and even with Elder Kim, this is the problem that we're having with the church, because Elder Kim is right. But I think, Elder Kim, what we're saying is, you're right. You're absolutely right. But the reality is, my bills got to be paid. So I hear what you
Good job.
And I agree with what you're saying.
He do got one, protecting the bishop.
As being the breadwinner, when my rent is due, all that you saying don't hit the average person's mindset. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not right, but it's just reality. And this is what we talk about with having safe spaces. I'm not judging nobody who make a decision to make sure their bills paid. I'm just not going to do that. But I understand the humanity side of what we really come to become preachers to do. But it's the same thing with any genre, right? Like,
it is.
That's what he's saying. It's just, it's not that you're condoning the actions at all. It's saying understanding where you're coming from, because this is the problem. If we really go back to it with titles and everything, we don't worship God in church. We don't even worship Jesus. We worship a pastor, because we don't do a God appreciation day. We do pastor's appreciation. If you don't give to the pastor and his love offering, you going to hell. If you can't tithe, you going to hell. And
well, I'm gonna be in hell.
Y'all can't sit in pastor chair. There's a guest preacher. The guest preacher can't even sit in pastor chair. That's pastor. That's first.
And don't you eat first?
Yeah, no,
that's right. Don't you park in pastor's park?
And so
go somewhere with that.
Created an idolistic form of worship, which we're going biblical, is Bethel and not Jerusalem. So it has the image and name of God, because Bethel meant house of God, but there's no God in it. And this ain't just something that some of us see. This is 70% of the churches that we go to. And it's not the church pastor's fault, because I think generally when Eddie Long went to New Birth, when it was a New Birth, in 1991, 92, when it was a little small church in Decatur, Georgia, where
that's right.
He probably was not thinking like this. But once you get to a certain pace and posture and you surpass all that, your general good intentions in any level of business become skewed, because now you're at a totally different level now. Because it's crazy. When I was armor bearer for my pastor, I would go places, I'd be an armor bearer. They'd treat me like one. Then he'll be like, oh yeah, y'all need to have my son come preach. So now when I come, they treat me like and roll out the red carpet. Why is it different now? Because we created our preachers to be our God. When Moses went up to the temple and they created an idol, it wasn't because they didn't love God. It's because the person who they needed to hear from was not visible. And that's what we're doing. That's, again, the problem with the Black church. Which, how do you deal with that situation? Which is what Rodney is saying. When you've given me this power now, so what am I supposed to do? Relinquish it? I'm supposed to not let y'all cook for me and clean up my house and wash my car and take my kids to this, and you know that I'm cheating on my wife and you hiding these secrets, and you know my wife might even be cheating. You hiding this, you know I'm stealing money, and you hide it. Why? Because we've got
you better talk about it.
God. And that's just some
what religious organization, or not even religious, you said business, so let's go business.
Yeah.
What organization do you know that does not have what's called a judicial council?
The church.
No, the church does.
No, it has, when it just doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. Now, my point is, why would the church need a judicial council?
Because of all the unintegral things that they do within the church. We still don't utilize it. We still don't utilize it the way it should be utilized.
Right, exactly. Because
let me tell you something.
Secrets. If I know a secret on you and you are running the investigation for the judicial council,
Rodney, I can promise you, I have been in situations where I have taken things to the leadership of the church when I have known things were wrong and unethical, and they did nothing about it. And I politely let them know that I knew that why they didn't do anything about it. And then I went to the next person and let them know why they didn't do anything about it. And here's the reality. I know that I can't fix it by myself, but I wanted to let those people know, I know why you didn't do it. I'm telling you to your face. I'm not scared of you, because you don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. I don't care if I got a seat at your church or in your congregation, because I can have church right here on this live stream with y'all. So my thing is, you got to be willing to give up something. You know, I've been a worship leader for years all over this country. And people will say, well, why are you getting away from that? Because one of the things I know, that as a worship leader, you start finding out and learning things about people that you don't want to know. And then when you call them on it, they don't want any accountability for it. They just want you to, you just need to understand that's just how it is. No, that ain't how it is. And I'm telling you that's not how it is. And I'm not going to be a part of your that's how it is.
No, ma'am.
Because I can go to the house. Because I tell you right now, my mom and I have talked about this thing. We didn't have more church since COVID went on than we had in the last 20 years. Because you done made folks have to step their game up and get on here and really be transparent about who they are in the Lord. Because they ain't got nowhere to go sit, and they don't have a whole congregation of people to preach to anymore. So,
and COVID ain't playing out here.
No, it is not. And it does not discriminate.
I just really fear. I fear. If and I know what you're saying to be true, because trust me, I've been in ministry for a long time, but I just really fear the state that we are in as the church, period. Because like you just said, COVID ain't playing. I don't know if we just don't know or believe that Christ is coming back. I don't know if we don't believe in his power. I don't know if we don't believe in the things that we preach and teach. But it's really sorrowful to me, the state that we're in, where we have exalted ourselves above Christ. It really just breaks my heart. And I'm not going to get on here and cry.
But it's been going on since the beginning of time.
Don't cry, girl.
But honestly, though, it's been going on since the beginning of time, and it's nothing new. So I think for me, because I was like you, but what God had to remind me was, because I was like, man, I'm over it. I'm done. He said, am I using you or you using me? Because he can even use the foolishness that we're seeing. Because I'm like you, he said,
that was deep,
been
bro.
going on for centuries. The thing is, anytime, and I don't mean to get political, and I'm not trying to, because I don't know how everybody feels.
No,
anytime you have a group of African Americans defending the actions and saying that it's God's man in the White House who starts an insurrection and say that they can biblically show you proof of stuff like that, shows you the kind of people that have always been used with Christianity, especially when we came over here. Right? But I hear a lot of these woke folks say, oh, well, they use Christianity to control us, not realizing that actually your slave masters didn't even want you to know about Christ and didn't want you to read the Bible. So it was never, Christianity was never a form of freedom for us. It was actually a form of release for us as slaves. But you have people giving misinformation. Yeah. But the crazy part is this. There were slave owners who did have black preachers like Nat Turner, who had started out to be like that, who had them preaching the controlled narrative that you're going to give to me and do all this. So it's literally been going on for centuries. The problem is, and the good thing is, we have an Elder Kim. We have a Elder Roberts. We have an Elder Rodney. We have a Coach Jay. We have a Coach Ebony. We have people who are now saying, hey, I'm not going to keep doing this status quo stuff, and I'm about to start building ministry throughout. I've said this to people a long time. The church has to become the YMCA and not become a country club anymore. Period. Woo! You're not building this community.
You said something.
He preaching.
It's no point of us doing this on Sunday, man. And so I'm like you. I'm actually the opposite, Elder Kim, and not because of a bad thing. I'm glad the church is becoming exposed and becoming destroyed. Because now it's opening up the door for people like us to say, hey, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be real. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I want to smoke weed. I don't, but I do sometimes. And be authentic with people and say, I've had those kind of urges, but let's talk about how biblically, how I was able to resist it. The same thing with sex with women. I have been a promiscuous man. It didn't stop because I just kept praying to God about it. Paul said he had a thorn in his flesh. What stopped me was when I understood biblically and when God had to confront me and say, how many of my daughters are you going to destroy because you can't control yourself?
Oh, my God.
That's what it took for me because it was ruining my life. And so if we don't have preachers who can't be authentic and real with, hey, I have been where you've been. I've done what you've done and really change people and get in this community, I want them to die, Elder Kim. They need to be destroyed and they need to be exposed.
But watch
because there's so many people who need us that we have been silent and been muzzled on, and God is saying, it's time for y'all to stand up and get these folk because they're about to get lost because they're running away. They're not running away from me. They just running away from that traditional church.
From the church.
But watch this. Go ahead.
COVID wasn't about just population control. COVID was about, let me close some of these buildings down and see how many of y'all really got a right relationship with me.
Yeah.
The reality is that we got all of these huge churches. We got mega churches, and what it said is all of y'all can't sit up under each other now because most of y'all not even supposed to be in here anyway. And if you all notice, if you know anything about the street, you will find more people in the street that love each other, got each other back, will tell each other the truth about anything that they doing. But we'll come to church and we got this passive aggressive attitude with each other. We'll know something's wrong. We'll know somebody's treating somebody wrong, and we won't say anything because why? They are our biggest tither. They're the people that's always blessing us in the back door, and we're afraid that they're gonna not do something. And when we need something paid, and when we want to go on vacation, and we need a little extra here, a little extra there, we're afraid to say anything and hold them accountable because they're the ones that's lining our pockets. And this goes back for me back to a lot of pastors I know years ago in the early 70s, and I'm just speaking for me now, in the early 70s, 80s, they always had a job and they pastored the church. You know, a lot of pastors now, that's all they do is pastor their church. Well, my thing is, if the building closed, who you seeing? Ain't nobody there. So why you didn't go get a job now? You talking about your church not affording to pay your pastor salary because people aren't coming to the building. Well, if you had been the kind of pastor that you had supposed to have been being, you would have already taught them about giving, and their giving would not have stopped because you would have been the man or woman of God that you should have been being before COVID, and none of that would have changed. And it's just like you said, Brother Jay, about in Detroit, the white pastors was like, well, what are you talking about? Because nothing for them was going to change, because what they taught and instilled in their congregations is a part of their life. Even when half the church went on a trip in the state park with their fifth wheel campers, you know, they still sent their tithes and offering, and they still came to Bible study, and their children still came and went to the YMCA and played in the gym. But we don't make those things available to the church, to the people in our community, yet we want to go out and knock on their doors on Saturday, come to my church. They didn't even know you was there until Saturday, but you only want them to come is because you got the bishop coming to preach for your church anniversary, your choir anniversary, and you want to make sure you got a packed house. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I've lived.
When you saying it?
I was gonna say, and I'm touching on what Brother Burrell said. Watch this, and this is gonna ruffle some feathers too. Watch this. When you talk about being authentic about your safe space, and you talk about being authentic about ministry and all this stuff, watch this. When do you stop placing blame on Satan and start placing blame on yourself?
That's
Exactly.
accountability.
Absolutely.
Because some people say
accountability.
it's a thorn in my flesh. It's a thorn in my flesh. Okay, but what if it's not a thorn in your flesh? What if it's Romans chapter 7? The good I would do or don't do. The bad
That's
I
right.
don't want to do is what I keep doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now that puts the blame on you.
Yeah,
But I can't say what's wrong with me, because if I do, now I'm in danger of losing the people that I thought I had. Now, Elder Kim, here's where you come in. You keep the real people and get rid of the fake people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no glory in building from the ground up.
Yeah.
There's no glory in that. The glory is inheriting something that somebody else already built.
Yeah.
I know you're not still mad.
So I'm not going to say that it's me. I'm going to say it's a thorn in my flesh. Red, why you have all these kids? It was a thorn in my flesh. Red, why you beat your wife? It's a thorn in my flesh. Red, why are you in the strip club spending all the church's money? It's a thorn in my flesh. When actually, it's not a thorn in my flesh. The good that I would do, I don't do.
That's your choice. Yeah, you choosing to be a fool.
It's you.
That's what I'm saying.
I tell people this all the time about church. Like, it's almost like a celebrity who gets mad about paparazzi. When they get mad, I don't want to know paparazzi. You knew the kind of profession you was in.
Yeah, that's right.
I
I cannot stand preachers and church folk who get on here about, oh, I'm human just like you. Yeah, you are human, but we chose to have people set a standard for us. And if you don't want to be in that standard, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
At some point, I can't preach to you if I'm destroying the same people I got to preach to. I just can't do it, you know? So I agree. I mean, this is all good.
Let me give y'all an example of something. You know, I think most of y'all have figured out right now. Ain't too much I won't say. So I like to go to the casino. Ooh, you know what I tell folk? Well, no, but my point is this. Ooh, you know, you say that the most church folk, they freak out. So explain to me how it's any different than people who are shopaholics spending their money and not doing what they're supposed to do, or people who are gluttonous and always spending money on lobster and filet mignon that they can't afford. If I've done what I'm supposed to do with the money that God has blessed me with, and he gave me 90% to do with what I want to do with, if I want to take my 90% and go try to turn it into some more and bless somebody, I got a pastor friend of mine right now that'll tell you, I was going to Vegas and I said to him, I need you to pray with me. I said, I need to win us some money. I said, now here's what I'm going to do. I said, if I win, I'm going to call my husband first and I'm going to call you second. I said, and when I get back, I'm gonna get a church day 10%, and I'm gonna give you your 10% for praying for me. Now you know people think you just talking, and sure enough, I hit for $4,320.
You better say the number. You better say the number.
$4,320. I politely called my husband and woke him up at 3:00 in the morning, and called my pastor friend and woke him up and said, "Bro, you ain't gonna believe it, dog. You got a check coming." But my thing was, my heart was in the right place. Yeah. My heart was in the right, because my thing was, I knew the church needed to be blessed. I knew he needed to be blessed, and I wanted to be blessed. And you can't tell me that wasn't God. You can't tell me that wasn't God saying, you know what? I'm going to see if you're going to do what you said you're going to do when you get what you say you're going to get. God will try you. God will test you. And 9 times out of 10, we fail because no one is looking. Mm-hmm. But see, I knew what I promised God. Mm-hmm. See, even if I lied to my pastor friend, I knew what I told God. I told God what I was going to do. And so for me, that's a bigger level of accountability than anything. Because it don't matter what you know about me or what man knows about me. He convicts me in the midnight hour. And see, that's the other thing we don't want to acknowledge. He will call you on your stuff, but you got to be willing to. Yeah, but most people don't even know how to spell it, let alone know what it means.
That's the father of accountability, integrity.
All day. All day. I work in human resources, and I tell people all the time, they'll say, "Miss Lynn, you the nicest HR lady I ever met." I'm not nice. I deal in black and white. The rules apply to everybody, and I apply them equitably. So if I had to give somebody else a chance because we all want an opportunity to plead our case. We all are so quick to judge people and never give them an opportunity to explain. Because you know the difference when somebody is explaining versus lying versus justifying. Because all three of them are different things. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that God has put me in the role in people's lives that I'm in, because I want to be able to give them same love and compassion that he gives me every time I do something that's wrong. That same love and compassion. And we don't walk in that anymore. We just want to point fingers and tell people everything that they doing right and what they doing wrong. No, and like brother Ronald, he been chiming in, the wealth of the heathen is stored up for the righteous. I tell folk that all the time. I'm firmly believing that the Lord is gonna let me hit the lottery, because there's some work to be done in the church with that money. It ain't just $500 here and $500 there.
Hey, we finna go to the line still.
But let's go. We can go. Oh, now I had to go to the line. I picked mine up this morning on the way back. I was in Florida last night, so I picked mine up. Yeah. See, I don't play about this stuff. I don't play about this stuff. And I'm gonna tell you something, Jay. People laugh at me. They be like, "Girl, you just say whatever." No, I'm honest, because I got tired of lying about who I was when I was younger. I was trying to please everybody. I was trying to make everybody think I was perfect. I told my sister not long ago, I said, I remember when I lived in Atlanta, I was 4.5, 5 hours from my hometown. And I said, God take care of fools and children. I'm so glad I'm his foolish child, because I remember the times I get in my car at 12:30, 1:00 in the morning and slide on in to South Carolina, going and drop my car off at somebody's house, and then go to their house and stay the whole weekend, and then nobody even know I was in town.
Come on, plan.
And my thing was, I was so glad nobody had to call my mama and daddy and tell them your child had been in an accident, and they want to know why I'm on the road. See, I got tired of lying about that. I got tired of hiding. I'm grown. I'm ready to go where I want to go and do what I want to do. And the only person I need to be accountable to is God. But the problem, we've let people put all this weight and expectations on us because we have accepted the call to do what most people don't want to do because it's tough, because we're being analyzed, we're being scrutinized, we're being looked upon. But the reality is everybody's supposed to be out here in ministry. The difference is a lot of people don't want to put themselves out there, because that means people going to start digging in your past. Dig all you want to, baby. I can promise you. You will find a whole lot of stuff you'll be open for discussion with, because there's plenty to look for. But you got to be open about that.
I ain't going to give you nothing to tell on me. I'm going to tell on myself. And
that's it. That's my whole point.
Better than you can.
Any day.
So just ask me. I'm going to tell you. I ain't holding nothing back.
That's it.
Did it. I did.
And.
No,
That's all. And.
this has been a very, very interesting conversation, and I
We done been
promised
all
y'all
over
it
the
was
place.
gonna be a little saucy. And
I
I
don't
love
even
it.
know
We
what the
never
question
say
was. I don't remember what the question was that brought all this on. So hey, there you go.
The fortitude question. It was the fortitude question. Remember?
it wasn't. We have gone way off, but I love it because this is what this is supposed to be about. That's why I don't. When we do set a topic, it be real broad. Y'all be like, "Hey, what we talking about?" I be like, "Just come in, be yourself." I got a little something. We're gonna start it off and then roll from there. And
That's right.
I love it more so like that. Conversation goes and it just go, and we be on. But I want to thank everybody who has tuned in tonight. We're gonna do this again because it was nice. I want to thank my sis, the Reverend
Thank
Letitia
you,
Roberts Henley, for joining us. This is her first time with us tonight, so we are super excited to have her. You gotta come bike.
Anytime.
We thank everybody else, Coach J Hart, Reverend Rodney, and Reverend Burrell. We thank
They
y'all
don't know I'm
so
a reverend. They don't know I'm
much.
a reverend.
Well, it's too late now. But when we come on here, and that's one of the things we do, we like to leave our titles. Well, they like to leave their title because I'm a lay person. Um, I'm lay. They leave it. We like, just be like us because that's where we need to have the real hard conversations, and we want everyone to know, hey, we here and let's talk about it. So again, yes, you did arrive late, Carlton, but we appreciate you coming in. Jessica, baby, don't worry. She coming back. She coming back. Since everybody love you, we love her too. But
Absolutely. Connect.
does anybody have any? Where she go?
Where
Does
she go?
anybody have any last
She done jumped
words?
off.
She said connect and
Her
then she dropped
connection,
off.
her
And
connection been
disconnected.
going in and out. But
No,
anybody
this
have any last words before? Well, I'm gonna wait till she come back on. Anybody have any last words before we sign out? This has been really great.
No, I just want to thank you guys and thanks sis when she comes back for the conversation. Thanks for the transparency. Thanks for the honesty. Like, thanks for just being open to have open dialogue. I appreciate y'all, and I do believe that we will be the change that's needed to see in this here generation. So thank y'all, and thank you,
Thank
sis.
Well,
y'all.
listen,
You got lost, but thank you so much. We appreciate you so much.
Elder Kim, let me say this.
Uh-huh.
If y'all trust and believe and we touch and agree that God will give us the resources that we need, we can go all around this country and set up outside and have these very conversations because there's people that want to hear this, need to hear this. They want to be a part of the church. They just don't want to be a part of the building.
You done said something then, sis. Cause the whole truth.
Wow, you right.
The whole truth.
Well, I'm
Well, I'm gonna say
Burrell,
thank
how
Rodney.
you.
about y'all?
I'm gonna say thank you so much. It's very enlightening, very eye-opening, and I just want people to understand. If you don't take nothing else, just know as you matriculate up in the ministry in the church, currency will change from money to secrets. Keep your integrity.
I just say thank you, man. This was an honor, it's a privilege to be able to talk to so many people, so many great minds, and thanking, and just even the people who are commenting through the panels. I mean, they really, really gave a lot of life and a lot of contribution to this. So it's amazing to be able to see what God is doing. Like I said, man, this is a beautiful time for the Black diaspora, for us who want more, want to know more, want to do more. We just need these spaces to be able to have those conversations. So I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Burrell, pray us out, please.
Kind Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for this word. We thank you for these people, these lives. Heavenly Father, we pray that you will bless us this week, that this week, the things that we've learned today, we'll be able to use and help matriculate throughout our daily lives this week, that we'll be able to bless someone with our conversations, that we'll be authentic and be able to help change some lives this week and be able to give people a sound doctrine of your word and what you believe, and be able to just be a difference maker this week in the lives of everybody that we touch. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. We thank you all for tuning in. This has Jay really.
Until we again.
Bye, y'all. This has
Bye.
been
Have a great
You, Me,
week.
and the Trinity's Christ
Please.
Connections and Conversations when the mind of a man meets she speaks. He said, she said, and the truth in between. We love y'all and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, y'all.